All right, everyone. Today is a good one. Our guest is Elissa Goodman. She's a holistic nutritionist, cleanse expert, and best-selling author who's dedicated her life to helping others heal from the inside out. After facing her own health battles, including cancer and autoimmune disease, Elissa completely transformed her approach to wellness. She's been such an inspiration. She's now known for her signature S.O.U.P. It's an acronym, S.O.U.P, cleanse, her S.O.U.P cleanse, her no BS approach to gut health, and her philosophy that healing should feel nourishing, not punishing or restricting. Whether it's clearing inflammation, calming the nervous system, or restoring that inner glow, Elissa is the go-to guide for getting your body back into balance.
And I love this quote. There isn't a crash cleanse or rigid routine. We're talking about the slow, soft, intuitive path to healing from your gut to your skin to your nervous system. All right, Mamina, I have a question for you. What is your best hydration tip?
I don't know if I'm the right person to ask, but I think that it's good to almost set a goal for yourself. And to me, I'm such a visual person. So I like to tell myself, okay, I need to drink 3 of these Owala bottles a day. Like if I tell myself that I need 3 of this specific container, I'm more motivated to do it. I understand how much I've had for today, and it helps me stay on track. Whereas if I just drink from a cup here and there, it's hard for me to know how much I drank and to stay on top of my goals. And then the other thing I do too, I always take minerals in the morning, like liquid minerals. One is Trace Minerals. Another one is this brand called Quinton Minerals. And it has like sodium and some other electrolytes. And it just helps keep the water in your system so that the water is actually hydrating your body instead of just going straight to your kidneys and getting peed out.
Well, I am so bad because first of all, I really don't do much for hydration. And I love that you have a mental, visual kind of goal because I don't even have that. And with clinic, how busy we are.
I
Especially
struggle
when I was doing
still.
wrestling clinic, I would go half of the morning not drinking and like not going to the bathroom, clearly dehydrated. And so there was actually one episode or one time, not episode, but like instance where I ended up actually peeing brown. So I think it was like I was severely dehydrated in a hot summer, probably overexerted myself, not even working out. And then I think I probably had like rhabdo. That really freaked me out. But yeah,
Yeah,
hydration is so important. Yeah.
I think you also bring up a good point too, because a lot of people are very set on, wait, how many ounces should I drink a day? But you want to look at your urine because that's a really good indicator of your hydration status. You want it to be like pretty clear, light yellow, very clear. If it's dark, yeah, that's
Not
telling
good.
you
Yeah.
something.
No, that's well, apparently I have not been hydrating the right way. Aside from me probably not drinking enough, the way I hydrate isn't the best way. And I think today's host is going to tell us all about hydration, how to best hydrate, and the
Yes,
importance of hydration for our overall body, gut, and skin health.
definitely.
Thank you guys for having me. I just always love going on podcasts and talking about my story because what really got me here to doing what I'm doing, which I love and I'm absolutely obsessed with, is just getting people healthy and getting people to thrive as they age. That's sort of like what I'm into now, but was a cancer diagnosis at the age of 32. So I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it was an early stage of Hodgkin's, but all the doctors I was seeing, at those years, it was 30 years ago, were completely freaked out over the cancer and wanted me to do chemo, radiation, freeze my eggs because I hadn't had kids yet. I mean, were asking me if I had a donor because I might have to do a transplant. Like, they take you down this rabbit hole that is just awful. And what happened at the time was I went to see this one radiologist, and I had seen so many doctors, and a friend had said, you really got to go see this guy. And I didn't want to because I was tired of the doctors, and
Understandably.
I went to see him, and he basically sat me down and he said, it's an early stage of cancer. Tell me about your life. What's your stress life? What's your sleep like? What are you happy? Do you love what you do? Do you love yourself? Like, kind of like tuning into like what was going on more so in my nervous system. Like, it
Yeah.
was so amazing. 30 years ago, a doctor would ask those questions, and
Yeah.
he completely changed my life. So
Wow.
he's like, we could take care of this easily with just changing your lifestyle. And I ended up doing a little bit of radiation because friends and family were all freaking out that I wasn't going to do any treatment. So I did half the
Mm-hmm.
radiation they recommended. I did no chemo, thank God. And,
Mm-hmm.
I went on to be healthy. I got some health issues because of the radiation, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, and
Mm-hmm.
some celiac, and, um,
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, and all these lovely issues that happened
Mm-hmm.
after that. But then my husband was diagnosed with cancer 11 and a half years later. He had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So he
Wow.
went through a year and a half battle. His was farther along. He
Mm-hmm.
felt some lymph nodes on his neck in October, and he wasn't diagnosed until March. So if I can
Mm-hmm.
really say to anyone who's worried about anything, just to get checked quickly as early as possible, because
Mm-hmm.
I think he could have been saved if he had been, if we had gone down this road earlier than when we did.
Mm-hmm.
But he ended up passing away from fungal pneumonia. His immune system was so
Oh.
compromised from the treatment from the cancer
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that he died at 46.
Oh
So I
God.
Oh my
was
gosh.
massively depleted, barely could get out of bed, had two girls at home that were 10 and 7. And I was like,
Oh.
oh my God,
My God.
how am I going to get on with my life? What am I going to do? Also, my girls are going to think they're automatically going to get cancer because they had both parents who had cancer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to school and got certified in Eastern and Western nutrition, and also all kinds of therapy and all different types of emotional modalities, food, supplements,
Mm-hmm.
Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic. I just sort of devoured all of it, not to become a nutritionist, not to do what I do, but I just did that because I wanted to feel better and feel good, and just know what I needed to do to get myself strong and healthy, because I just never in a million years wanted to, leave my girls without a parent.
Yeah.
So that is how I got to where I am. And when I
Amazing.
graduated from my program, there are these few restaurants in LA. M Cafe was around. I'm not sure if it's still around. Cafe Gratitude. They asked me to do a
Uh-huh.
food program for them. I put these
Oh,
cleanses
nice.
together, and I
Wow.
marketed them. And then I just that sort of started my career.
So did you
I
learn
worked with
about all these
Erewhon.
like yeah, I know I when I used to live in LA, I just thought that LA was at the forefront with all these health things because
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
all there was yeah, with Erewhon and Cafe Gratitude and there was like a soup it wasn't a restaurant, but it was a soup bar almost. And
Right.
yeah, so so when you went through all your training it sounded like you went through a lot like with Eastern, Western
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
nutrition. Where did you learn about like the cleansing and other nutrition approaches?
I kind of got thrown into that too. You know how everything just happens for a reason. When I started putting the food programs together for Cafe Gratitude, it was all raw vegan, and it was
Yeah.
a 5-day program, and I handheld those cleansers, for the 5 days, and sort of just figured out what was working for them, what wasn't working for them. I learned about their health issues. I sort of then started to devour information about how I could help them beyond the cleanse, because some
Mm-hmm.
people did well, some people didn't do well at all.
Mm-hmm.
M Cafe was a macrobiotic cleanse, so I did the same
Mm-hmm.
thing. I handheld those people. I just the cleansing world, like what I realized was cleansing, was just really removing foods that didn't agree with you. Also inflammatory foods, as we know, like the added sugars. We don't realize how much sugar we consume. Some of us are gluten intolerant, some of us aren't, but
Yeah.
taking away the gluten just to give your system a break. Taking away dairy. Cow dairy can be really inflammatory. Goat and sheep is okay, but different casein molecule that you break down, and then the bad seed oils and the processed foods and foods that have a lot of additives and fillers and things like that. So just eating real food for 5 days
Yeah.
is like a game changer. not having any process, watching the sugar, no dairy, no gluten. Like people can reset their body in only 5 days. I mean, they
Nice.
had better
Wow.
digestion, they slept better, their skin was better, they lost weight, and they were actually eating more food than they usually did. Because in those days, people wanted to starve themselves, so they could
Right.
lose weight. It
Mm-hmm.
was about deprivation, starvation. I
Mm.
realized that if you give people the right food, then, and fill them up and satiate them and
Mm-hmm.
nurture them, it's better, so
Mm-hmm.
they're not
Yeah.
deprived, and they're like, holy cow, I can actually feel
Yeah.
good by eating instead of not
Mm-hmm.
eating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what was fascinating to me. And then I started my own cleanse 13 years ago. I have 4 different cleanses. And it's all about that. It's all about just giving people the right kinds of foods. We have a regular
Yeah.
cleanse with just really clean products and gut friendly, drinks, and 50 different vegetables in 5 days and broths. And then I have a gut cleanse that is full of fiber, so people start to go to the bathroom regularly and go to the bathroom not just once a day, but 2 to 3 times a day, which
Mm-hmm.
also was a game changer. So, it's
Mm-hmm.
just learning along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not rocket science here, what I do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know?
I love that in a sense. I feel like it's so much to unpack from what you just said. I think many of us are much more in tune with like this holistic approach, taking care of our body for overall health, better skin, better hair, etc. But at the same time, I also do find it a little bit overwhelming. Like I don't actually know. Like I feel like I know all the things you mentioned, like, of course, less sugar, less inflammatory foods, but that's a lot. I feel like a lot to do all at once. It's almost for me seems really overwhelming. Like that cleanse sounds like a lot easier to do, like maybe just something I drink every day. Like if somebody like me wanting, coming in to see you, like where would you suggest, like how should I even approach this if I want to just take better care of my body?
Well, there's like just, about 4 pillars that are super crucial. And if you don't have those 4 pillars in place, it's really hard to move on to the next level for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one I would say is hydration. So we are all
Mm-hmm.
massively dehydrated. We drink all this beautiful water, but we just pee it out because we don't have minerals in our body. We need magnesium, manganese, potassium, chloride, sodium, zinc,
Mm-hmm.
all these minerals that absorb the water into our cells. So we think we're doing well by drinking, all this water, but when you're just peeing it out, you're not hydrated. And when you're dehydrated, nothing works right. Your adrenals are pumping out cortisol and adrenaline, so it puts you into fight or flight mode. Your brain doesn't work well. You think you're hungry when you're not hungry. You're also, your gut isn't going to work very well. You're not going to go to the bathroom, really fully eliminate, which is the first line of defense for cleansing and detoxing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, hydration is key. Women need 96 ounces, men need 120. So that could be a green juice or decaffeinated tea. It doesn't have to be just water or smoothie, okay? But
Mm-hmm.
sugar is dehydrating. Over the counter, like animal protein
Interesting.
can be dehydrating.
Yeah.
Also, dairy, cow dairy can be dehydrating. Like Advil, Tylenol, birth control pills, like all are dehydrating because they're synthetic, So there's a lot of things, not just caffeine. So hydration is crucial. When someone gets hydrated, it's a different story. And secondly, it's sleep. We detox in our sleep. So we have to have
Mm-hmm.
we need to have some good sleep hygiene. And it's hard these
Yeah.
days. I mean, people are stressed and they're not being able to fall asleep, or they're waking up in the middle of the night and they're not being able to go back to sleep. And, so the sleep is crucial. And a lot of times we're nutrient deprived. We don't have magnesium in our system, and magnesium is really helpful for calming the nervous system and
Mm-hmm.
taking before you go to bed. There's so many things that are great for, and also just de-stressing before you go to bed, because we're all just like going a million miles an hour, and then all of a sudden we're supposed to fall asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plus we just are on our phones or watching Netflix, or there's just so much available to us. So I mean, women really need 8 hours of sleep to restore their adrenals. Men can get away with 7. And then moving your body. You don't have to do Barry's boot camp or spin or, like hike up a mountain, but you do need to walk and get some steps in and just move your body. So,
Hmm.
that's crucial. And then the fourth pillar is just managing your stress. If it's meditation or yoga or just finding a way to calm the body down and get yourself back in your body. I see so many clients, their head is here, their body is here. They're not,
Hmm.
they're not connected. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have those four pillars, which don't cost anything, right?
Hmm.
It's hard to move to the next level and just, you can take all the supplements in the world and eat that healthiest food and juice greens and, go to Erewhon and have the healthiest smoothie on the planet. But it's just not going to cut it if you don't have your basics.
Yeah. Um, I would love to hear your recommendations for like hydration. So, not just regular water. So, do you recommend maybe like in between water having like a decaffeinated tea or like a smoothie? How would you recommend like a menu, I guess?
So
Yeah.
the first thing I always say is you have to have 16 ounces of water when you wake up because your body's been detoxing, so it's really dehydrated. Before tea or coffee, before anything, 2 cups of water. Okay, then you can go to your coffee or your tea or your matcha. That is life changing, by the way. Most people don't do that. They just go right to their, caffeine
Right.
to wake them up.
Hmm.
Then I have this hydrating powder. I
Mm.
absolutely can't live without it. It's called Ultima Replenisher. And
Hmm.
it basically has a really good array of magnesium, potassium, manganese. It has zinc, it has chloride, it has C in it. And I take like a scoop or a packet and dilute it into 32 ounces of water. Okay, so
Mm.
then I am not running to the bathroom to go pee. I'll put it that into a bottle of water and get on a flight and not have to pee the whole flight to New York, like 5 hours. Like it is crazy. And also then you feel better. You're not, you're energized. You don't have jet lag and things like that. So the Ultimate Replenisher is my favorite. A lot of people love the sodium ones, the electrolyte ones with
Mm.
element or all kinds of
Hmm.
things like that. But I just love minerals. I think
Hmm.
minerals, they
Mm.
calm your nervous system
Hmm.
and they also
Mm.
help you absorb the water. So I love Ultima. I really say to dilute it because it has stevia and it can be really strong.
Mm.
So I don't love
Mm.
that strong stevia taste. So I
Hmm.
drink 2 of those a day and that gives me like
Mm.
64 ounces. Then I'll do it. I love Tulsi tea. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Yeah,
Mm.
TULSI.
I do drink that
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
it's an adaptogen. It's the queen of adaptogens. So calming the central
Oh.
nervous system, lowers inflammation in the gut. That tea I can't live without either because if your energy's low, it'll bring your energy up. If your energy's high, it will lower it. Like it balances you out throughout the day. And that's another way to, get a really
Yeah.
great hydration in. I love juicing. I've been a juicer since I had
Mm.
cancer. So, but I just
Mm.
use cucumbers, celery, lemon, ginger,
Yeah.
parsley, cilantro,
Yeah.
like easy
And you make
things.
your own. Like you don't
Mm,
buy it, you make your own.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I
Do you have a
don't
good
put any
juicer?
fruit. Well, I was using the Nama juicer.
Okay.
Honestly,
Yeah.
you guys, now I'm just throwing them into a blender because it's just
Uh,
easier. Because it's kind of a
so
pain in the
then
ass to
you just drink
clean.
it like almost like a smoothie then,
Yeah,
right? Then you
yeah.
just like, okay, because there's probably
16
fiber in
ounces
there
of
too.
that.
And
Yeah, there we go. Like
oh,
we're
wow.
there. So I've got my
Yeah.
64
Wow.
ounces of the water with Ultima, then of course the 16 ounces in the morning, and then like a juice, and then Tulsi tea, and you're good. You
Yeah,
Wow.
I
know?
have a question about the whole juicing thing because I feel
Yes.
like there's been a weird movement that's
Mm.
I don't know if it's anti-juice, but some
Yes.
people say you shouldn't juice because you need fiber
Mm.
or like if it's
Yeah.
something sweet, it can make
Right.
your glycemic index
Like
shoot through
sugar.
the roof.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
what do you have to say about that or people
They're
who
right. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
that's why I
Mhm.
think I started throwing them into the blender because I wanted the fiber.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
still think
Mm.
like if you don't juice fruit or carrots or
Mm.
beets,
Yeah.
because those are
Mm.
all high in sugar, you're
Uh-huh.
totally cool
Yeah.
with doing straight celery juice or celery cucumber lemon
Yeah.
ginger. Like you
Yeah,
are,
totally.
it's just
Yeah.
so cleansing, so hydrating, you guys, full of
Mhm.
minerals.
Well, that's good to
So
know.
yes, the fruit
Yeah.
thing,
Mhm.
you go to Erewhon, you buy you buy green juice with apple, it has 18 grams of sugar.
Yeah, I'm amazed by the amount of sugar in those juices. You gotta be careful.
So you think you're doing the right thing. I'm going to get a green
Yeah.
juice, and then I'm going to buy
Right.
an RX bar or protein bar. Okay. Then the RX bar is 12 or 14 grams of sugar. You're way over your allotment for the day in one meal. That's what's
Wow.
crazy for all of us. We just don't know
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that sugar, do you also watch the amount of like, say, even fruit intake? Because sugar is sugar. I know some people say fruit has more fiber. I'd love to hear your thoughts about that.
So I don't. I love fruit.
Okay.
I think fruit is the fountain of
Okay.
youth. So fruit has fiber. It slowly goes into the bloodstream because the fiber helps slow it down. I absolutely adore berries. They're high in
Yeah.
antioxidants, they're
Berries.
anti-cancer, right? I love like slightly green bananas for the prebiotics. I mean, I just think fruit is amazing. And in the summer when
Amazing.
it's hot and some of the higher sugar, fruits are great
Yeah.
because you burn off the sugar because of the heat.
Oh,
Okay. So,
interesting. Yeah.
but I just, I think that fruit is something you should continue to ingest.
Yeah. Just not in a juice form.
Just
maybe.
not in a,
Eat a whole.
Yeah.
Eat a
Yeah.
whole.
or not too much in a smoothie, not too much sugar, in the smoothie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, yes, speaking of all these liquids and items, I want to talk about the S.O.U.P cleanse. And wanted to get your take on why S.O.U.P. I think that I can see a lot of benefit with that, but would love to just get your perspective on it and how you integrate that into somebody's whole kind of meal program.
I know. That was so bizarre when we started doing that. I don't know how we designed a soup cleanse. It really is an acronym, for soups and salads. The O is organic, the U is unique, the P is prepared with love. So, so it's really soup is easy to digest. And I'm just trying to load everybody up with more vegetables. And then we always add plant-based protein because I want to get protein into people throughout the day as well. So it's legumes and beans or cashews or, just anything, quinoa, like anything with plant-based protein. And it's easy to digest. So we soak all our beans and legumes or we buy sprouted ones. So they're easier on the digestive tract. But it's really about loading them up with veggies. That was the goal. It's hard to eat all those veggies, but it's easier to like either have them pureed in a soup or just have them cut up in a soup. And as you know, and it's just so nurturing and nourishing. I again want to calm people's nervous system. And you guys know when you have a warm soup,
Nothing like
right?
it.
So good.
Or
Yeah.
bone
It's
broth,
like nourishing for the soul. Like
it is. That's it.
yeah.
I mean, I just feel like our nervous systems are in hyper alert mode and like overdrive. And so that is really why. It's years ago, I was just like, I was too. I'm a perfectionist. I'm an Aries. And I go. And, then I crash.
Right.
So I was trying to teach myself how to nourish and nurture myself along the way as well. So that's how it all came about.
I love this approach because I love the idea of keeping things gentle on the body, like giving your digestive system a break, and while still nourishing and replenishing the nutrients that your body needs. Because another movement that I think has been huge in the last few years is like this really pro carnivore kind of diet. Let's do a lot of red meats. The vegan we're seeing health issues with that. And my perspective is that it's all about balance, and everyone's different too. Everyone also benefits from different diets. But what is your take on that?
I'm a middle of the road girl. I believe in a little bit of everything. I never want to I don't know, just it's really hard to be a healthy vegan unless you have a private chef cooking for you and making sure you're getting enough protein. I mean, it's just like these different, the carnivore, I just think, I don't know how someone can break down 200 grams of meat and protein. The body isn't designed for that these days, So I think, and like I said earlier, it's very dehydrating because it takes a lot for the body to break down that animal protein. So I don't quite understand why we're going on these massive tangents and why we
Yeah.
can't just be like middle of the road and have, you know, a
Right.
certain amount of protein.
Yeah.
I mean, just like this size protein is 30
Mm-hmm.
grams, you know, it's not very much.
Mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, women, I try to get my women to get 75 to 90, if they're working out 90,
Mm.
but I mean, this, you know, 120, 150, 100, I mean, I don't,
Yeah.
it's hard to do as well, like a vegan getting their protein. So I'm not a big fan because I think you negate some of the other foods. And I think you need an
Mhm.
array of foods. I think you need complex carbs. You need fruit,
Mhm.
right? You
Mm-hmm.
need vegetables. I don't know
Totally.
how you're going to
Yeah.
ingest all of that. And then 200 grams of, you know, animal protein.
Meat. Yeah.
So I just think the Mediterranean diet, as we've heard over and over again at nauseum,
Mm-hmm.
is really a beautiful way to go, you know? Healthy
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
fats,
Agree.
lean proteins, lots
Yeah.
of vegetables, you know, just yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely on that track. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. Like I don't want anyone to be perfect. I love tequila. I love French fries. I love, you
Nice.
know, pasta and pizza. And
Yeah.
so I think that
Yeah.
there's somehow we have to have some fun with our food
Moderation. Yeah.
choices and
Yeah.
also
And
be healthy.
balance.
Hmm.
Balance. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've definitely come to that conclusion as well after I feel like I've tried all these different diets
Mm.
and personally have dealt with like orthorexia, and I've learned that I thrive the best when I don't put those restrictions on myself,
Mm.
actually. And if you eat like a well-balanced diet, your body
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it's missing something. Like your body when you're depleting or restricting your body from eating a certain food group, like your body doesn't feel right, and
Yeah.
it feels off, and you start behaving even worse, like just going in the other direction. So.
Yeah, like it can backfire. You can like crave it more, end up just right going
Mhm.
overboard, and yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Um.
when I was started in this nutrition world, I did get into all of those things. You know, the vegan
Mm.
cheeses, and by the way, I must have eaten like cashews as a snack, cashew cheese, cashew
Mhm.
milk. Like,
Mhm.
I did this whole like I could not touch a cashew after like a certain amount of time. My gut felt horrible. My
Yeah.
eyes swelled up. Like I built up a food intolerance because I was eating so much of that stuff. So it totally backfired on me, and I didn't feel good. So plus you want to tune in because some people are great. Like I can eat tomatoes, you know, and other people don't feel good with tomatoes or whatever. You just want to tune in to when you eat and after you eat, how you feel, if your gut feels good, if you don't have digestive issues, also if you don't have brain fog or sugar cravings or, you know, things that are happening after the meal. Because if you are, something maybe in that meal didn't agree with you. And you want to like kind of investigate and find out because you want to feel energized and good after you eat, not like bloated and lethargic and right.
All right.
Go
I
back.
also want to ask you because you've talked a lot about, and I totally feel this too, that the brain and gut connection. Love to hear kind of about how your thoughts on how stress, anxiety affects just our overall well-being, our gut health, and beyond, and wellness. Right. So love to hear that.
So when we're stressed,
Yeah.
our gut completely shuts down. So if we're like
Mm.
eating food and trying to digest it and we're stressed, we are not going to be able to break down our food and digest it. So that's a
Mm.
big problem. Then you won't absorb any
Yeah.
nutrients from the food, you know, so and the food kind of like gets almost backed up in the system, in the gut or in the
Mm.
intestines, in the
Yeah.
colon, and it doesn't get moved through because you really want food to go in and out. I mean, you guys are supposed to go to the
Hmm.
bathroom after every meal. Like, and that's about
Yeah.
stress and less
Uh-huh.
fiber. I know. Like,
Wait,
I know we're
are you
supposed
like a bowel movement after you every
yes.
meal? Is that supposed to be
Yes, we're supposed
real?
like a dog does, you know, we're supposed to move
Wow.
food
Like,
is
that's
what
crazy.
where do you think the food goes, you know? Like
Mm.
Yeah.
it gets
Mhm.
backed up
Mhm.
and it ferments and all of that. So That's a problem with the stress. And then also it depletes your microbiome, stress. So your beneficial bacteria is crucial. It depletes your enzymes. It also depletes your hydrochloric acid. Those three things are like just so crucial for, first of all, any pathogens like bacterial, fungal, or, viruses getting into your gut and getting into your intestines. That's how we get SIBO and SIFO and all those things. So when all of those things are low, we basically, get into all kinds of trouble. So, and then your serotonin is produced in your gut. So you do want to somehow maintain a healthy gut. So you produce the serotonin, and then your immune system as well, 75%, give or take, of your immune system is in your gut. And I think it's 90% of serotonin is produced in your gut. So that's where the gut-brain axis comes in. And the gut is crucial. The gut actually processes everything. It processes your hormones, all your food, all your nutrients. So
I mean, we certainly know there is a connection between the gut and the skin too. So everything, I feel like this is all connected. Now, everything you described with that stress, it can be stress from any source, including even maybe the food that we eat. Is it more instant from even acute stress versus is it more prevalent or more evident when it's long-term stress, or does the chronicity or the time frame of that stress affect our gut as well?
It's both. It's absolutely both. Stress is stress. Also, the saddest thing of all is you could be happy stress and that could affect it. That's the bummer. It's you could be excited and, just happy about your life and going along your way, but you're stressed. Not just a sad stress. They both affect it. That's the bummer. It's not fair.
So is there a way to improve our nervous system in that sense through food, through lifestyle?
Yes. I mean, it really is what we were talking about earlier. It's just really making sure you have those practices in place of meditation, journaling, sleep, just really trying to down regulate the nervous system, just making sure that's just what stress is all about. Magnesium is a great thing to take. I just give everybody magnesium before bed to really de-stress the body. That's super crucial. There's all kinds of herbs and extracts that are beautiful for stress, like GABA, like lemon balm, licorice root extract, and all of the adaptogens like rhodiola and ashwagandha and maca. And there's just beautiful things out there if you know what kind of stress you're dealing with and what times of day. And, I do blood work on all my clients. I see what their cortisol levels are, in the morning and throughout the day. And so they're just beautiful things to be able to take. I love to supplement with one at a time. L-theanine is a crazy beautiful supplement for focus and de-stressing. I kind of love taking that all day long. But I take one thing at a time to see what works, So sometimes proprietary blends I don't love because you don't know how much you have of all of these herbs and things. But I love it when I like herbal extracts, like one thing at a time, a lemon balm or licorice root or the L-theanine, and just see what works for you. You could tell right away.
Okay. So I love that. You tailor that. Tailor that to the specific needs of your clients, because everybody's stress. Like you said, even the level, how you feel, you may not feel stressed, but your body's stressed, but you just don't feel it, or the happy stress for sure. I think it seems like it's definitely very simple, like you said, just those 4 pillars. But I definitely do feel like it's harder to.
It's easier said than done. I know. I feel like so many, as dermatologists, we deal with and treat chronic skin diseases all the time. People who live with chronic inflammation. And I think such an underrated contributor to it is stress. As physicians, we're very quick to prescribe medicines. And and don't take the time to talk about, okay, what's going on in your life, what's affecting your nervous system. And it's unfortunately like the healthcare model is not set up for that.
There's one thing that I love. It's kind of corny, but you know those old-fashioned hot water bottles, like the rubber
Yeah.
ones that you get at the
Oh,
drugstore?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for
Okay.
warming like your
Yes.
feet and like,
Yeah.
yes.
So you put hot water in that rubber bottle and you put it on your gut. And it
Ah,
is so crazy beautiful. Like it calms down your whole entire body. It's
I
not
love
like
that.
Gosh.
a heating pad,
Yeah.
but water, hot water, like taking an Epsom salt
So
bath, you know, like
interesting.
warm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that calms down your body. It's just
totally.
water and hotness and that hot
That
water
is
bottle.
so
If you're having
interesting.
stress,
I love
it's
that.
isn't that cool? It's
I love
it's
that.
cheap
Yeah,
and
I love
it's a,
that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
easy.
It's well, I yeah, so like cuz when you talked about like traditional Chinese medicine with I'm Chinese background, and that's like what I so much for me to learn from that area, but that is like what I grew up with. Like I have
yeah,
literally like 5 of them in my house because when I was little and even growing up when I was sick, it's like always going back to your like gut and your back, and it's always keeping this area warm where you're not
yeah,
feeling good. Like my mom, my grandma would like come at me with a warm bottle, like you said,
yes,
and just like
Hmm.
yeah,
put it on your tummy.
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
does, there is like that calming, soothing, just like you're being cared for effect, and it does help.
that's it.
Similarly too for
Or
the
warm,
feet, it's like your feet can never
yeah,
get cold.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
like warming your feet that way or just soaking your feet, that's a big part of like, traditional
yeah,
Chinese medicines. Like
Hmm.
everything is
Hmm.
related to the health of your feet.
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
And
Love that.
warm water, you know,
Mm-hmm.
warm water with
Yeah.
Yeah.
lemon, just like all of those
Yeah.
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
are exceptional. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
again,
And I think that's
not
why the soup,
not hard.
Yeah.
yeah, not hard. And but I also think it comes back to like the soup too, like things that are warm,
Yeah,
they just
Mm-hmm.
shift your body into a more like
Mm-hmm.
I think parasympathetic, like
yes.
ideal state.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I feel like it's
That is what we want.
underappreciated. Yes,
Yes.
yes,
I
but
think
yes, no, I love that.
we're so used to the sympathetic, we are just
Hmm.
because we want to accomplish,
Mm-hmm.
we were go-getters, we just, you want to like, you just like kind of feel like you just want to accomplish everything on your to-do list, or you're just very motivated to do as much as you can, or you're driven by many different
Mm-hmm.
reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that today's day and age, we have grown up like that, and we're all like
Mm-hmm.
that. And how many things can we get done in a day to make you have us feel proud of ourselves? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's not doing great things for us.
It's really
Mm-hmm.
not. Yeah,
You know,
we almost like we take it. I don't know if we take. It's like we accept it as part of our normal life
yeah,
too. We
Right.
we,
yeah,
we accept stress to be that part of life,
Normal.
and
Like expected.
that's
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
and it's only
Like
causing
we
problems.
thrive on stress. We're like we
Yeah.
wear it as a badge of honor.
No,
Right?
yeah,
Shouldn't be that way.
no.
Um, should we get into some listener questions? There are some ones I
Yeah,
feel like that are really frequently asked, even to us as dermatologists, but you probably have better ways to help coach. And that is, inflammation, gut health related to our skin health, as we all said. And one of the biggest things is like, diet and acne, or just like triggers for your skin. What would you suggest on if somebody's interested in doing like maybe a gut cleanse to help with their acne, or say feel that certain foods may trigger their skin? Where can they start as far as like looking for options and helping to improve their skin health through a cleanse or food?
yeah. So we talked about sugar because
Mm-hmm.
we have too
Hmm.
much
Yeah.
sugar, and the cow dairy is a problem, I think, for acne,
Hmm.
very much
Hmm.
so.
Yeah.
Gluten can also be
Yeah.
bad, seed oils, all the inflammatory foods you need to
Hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
take notice of, even just take them out of your diet for 5 days, which I think, a lot of people could just do the 5 days and see
Hmm.
how they
Mm-hmm.
do. The other thing is adding in probiotics, like a strong, really high quality probiotic. I give all my clients 100 billion at a minimum. So
Hmm.
there are a lot of
Wow.
probiotics on the market that are 10 billion, 15 billion.
Yeah.
They're just not enough. Okay.
Mm.
So 100 billion is, I think, the way to go. And there's also a Kefir Labs drink, a coconut kefir drink that has
Uh-huh.
100 trillion in a shot.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so
Wow.
trying those things are like, your gut is really connected to your acne.
Yeah.
Also your liver. Your liver is very much,
Oh.
if your liver isn't detoxing everything properly, that could be a
Mm.
problem
Mm-hmm.
for acne. So I am always trying to get people to detox their liver with, bitter greens and like radicchio, arugula, kale.
Mm-hmm.
Those things
Mm-hmm.
are great for the liver. Also, I love a liver support supplement called Health Force Liver Support. It has a
Mm.
very high dose of milk thistle, dandelion
Mm-hmm.
root.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it has a little bit of turmeric and another herb in it that's beautiful for detoxifying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just, when people have, acne, I'm always trying to get their gut healthy and get their liver cleansed and supported and
Interesting.
I love
taking some
that.
inflammatory
Oh
foods.
yeah. I
Can
was
I
gonna ask if there's
ask?
a brand of probiotics.
I was going to ask that
I was
same
Yes.
gonna say the
question.
same thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm a supplement snob. So
Yeah.
Love
I've been like
it.
dabbling in supplements since like 30 years. So Genuine
Yeah.
Health is my favorite. It comes from
Okay.
Canada.
Okay.
What's so great about it, it shows you all the strains on the side of the box, like individual strains. And it
Uh-huh.
comes in 50 billion or 100 billion. So that's my favorite one. But there's
Okay, good to know.
Seed is a good one. SEED.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah. I've
52
enjoyed
billion.
seed.
Yeah, it's 52 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pure Encapsulations makes it 50 billion. Trying to think of, and then there's food sources, sauerkraut,
Mm-hmm.
kimchi,
Yeah.
like the
Mm-hmm.
the kefirs.
Yeah.
Those are great too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. And what
you
brand
can't get
kefir?
you can't get enough.
You can't get enough.
So here is more is better.
Yeah, more is better when it comes to probiotics.
Probiotics.
I was going to ask another listener question. So, what would you recommend if somebody asks, what do I eat if everything seems to trigger my skin?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ugh, that's a tricky one.
Yeah.
You just would have to do an elimination diet,
Mm-hmm.
just you would probably need to journal down.
Mm-hmm.
I would, make sure
Mm-hmm.
the person stays hydrated, like to make sure that
Right.
things are moving through the system, and not backing up. So, but writing down everything, because I can't believe that everything triggers the skin. Like it's hard to
Right.
believe that everything someone eats. So,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
but I would definitely write down, and then like we talked about earlier, just making sure your gut is healthy and your liver is detoxing, and I think you could get through it,
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about elimination, you said 5 days. Is that the typical time frame you have people remove? And if after 5 days there isn't significant difference, they can maybe continue, or what is that general approach?
It just
for
depends
elimination?
on the client. I mean, you can reset your body in 5 days, but if you have, that's just for kind of just resetting, nothing hardcore going on. Like if you do have acne or major digestive issues, or then it's a longer period of time. I mean, it's 2 weeks at a minimum, up to a month, up to 3 months. Okay. So
Wow.
if you have a health issue and you're dealing with something a little more intense, rather than just brain fog or tiredness or sluggishness, or, I would definitely, it's going to be longer.
Yeah.
I have a fun one. What is one skin superfood you swear by?
One, okay. Oh my God, that's so hard.
Maybe 3 then.
Oh, okay.
Question
I
marks.
would say, well, I mean, I love green tea, matcha. Like, I just think that's a great skin food. I love matcha. I love berries, and I love avocados, I would say.
Love it. I know you're hitting all
Yeah.
the points.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most underrated supplement?
Most underrated supplement. God, that's such a hard one too. Because there's so many
Well, I
good
was going to
ones. I mean,
say, if I were to answer this, I would say
Yeah.
magnesium, because I hear everybody talk about it, and it's not, a popular one that, but it's underrated because it has a lot of
It is.
benefits.
yeah, that.
So do you have a brand or a couple brands that
Yes.
you recommend?
Of course.
Yes.
Bioptimizer BIOPTIMIZER, has 7 different kinds of magnesium in it. It's 500 milligrams. Phenomenal magnesium, phenomenal brand. Has a sleep supplement I love. Has a digestive enzyme supplement I love. Bioptimizer is a great brand, and it's a great magnesium. The other underrated one is vitamin D, because there's a vitamin D cell receptor in every cell in the body. So we didn't really know that. D is important for cognitive function, for firing all cylinders in your brain. It helps with gut health. It helps lower your cholesterol. It's not just for immunity. So D is crucial for sleep, for so many things. So I would say that was probably going to be my number one, and then magnesium. And your D on your blood work needs to be over 50 ml. Like most people are okay. The doctors are like, you're at 40, you're fine. You know, you're not fine until you're over 50. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of these reference ranges need to be reevaluated. Same with TSH too.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So much
It's crazy,
so. And also D is related to skin, you know?
Well, and hair too,
100%.
because like where I was in the Midwest, and it's like, you know, cold, and a lot of the times when they come in for hair loss, like they have like no vitamin D level. So it definitely, we know it plays a role in skin and hair too. Yeah,
sure. Totally.
We're gonna wrap up just because we're coming to an end. But let me see.
Do you want to ask one more?
Can we ask one more rapid fire question?
Sure.
Okay. What is the first thing you do in the morning?
I meditate.
Love it. Yeah.
Just for a few minutes before I get out of bed. Just it doesn't have to be long. I'm not like doing 30 minutes or, you know, just even 5-10 minutes just to get my head straight.
Perfect.
So, and I feel like we've really talked about this, but just one more time, final advice for our listeners and viewers, where to begin if you have gut or skin issues and feel like it's out of balance. Where can, you know, people begin with that?
I would say hydrate. Just make sure you know, even if you don't do the ultimate replenisher hydrating powder that I love, try a pinch of sea salt in your water with lemon, you know, in the morning. So but just make sure you're hydrated.
Yeah, simple yet so impactful.
Yeah. I wish I could tell you some, you know, crazy thing to do.
No. So many people don't drink enough.
Yeah,
it's a good reminder.
This is great. And it's really simple because we all have salt, and most of us probably have lemon in our kitchen, and it's easy, and make it warm, and there goes 2 glasses of it. That's a good start.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to share all of your knowledge and wisdom. Where can listeners find you if they want to learn more about your, you know, what you have to share?
I'm on Instagram and TikTok, of course, much to my demise. I'm like, and then I have a website. It's ElissaGoodman.com. So we do have the cleanses in Los Angeles, but we also ship homemade super seed bars, a cacao bar, granola across the country. So,
great.
So,
Well,
thank you guys
so much.
Thank you so much.
It was great. Thank you.